Hello everybody and welcome back for more Let's Play Super Mario Bros. 2. In this episode we're going to head to World 3 and we're going to play as Toad once again. And World 3, well, especially World 3-3, I do not like one bit though, but we're going to see later because, well, I guess this is also where things, where this is where the enemies, get a little more dickish. And look at that, that's a huge-ass waterfall there, and I also gotta say that I don't like going through this level because, like, the animation of the waterfall is, it actually strains my eyes here. Like, because the waterfall here just fills almost the entirety of the screen, and it kind of bothers my eyes, just, like, having to look at it constantly. But, you know, at least it won't last long, though. And then there's a Pidgeot right here on a flying carpet. Let's go hijack this carpet right here. Whoop! There we go. Although, speaking of which, you know, with the way the waterfall is and the, like, you know, talking about the graphics here, I gotta say, though, this game actually really does look good on the NES. Because, I mean, you know, Super Mario Bros. 1, I mean, it already does look fine, even though it does, well, I mean, you know, a lot of the sprites are just all, like, just regular pixelated, but, like, here in this game, like, the graphics here, like, they're all, like, all the lines around the, around the backgrounds of the characters themselves or the character sprites. Like, you know, this game really does look gorgeous, especially by NES standards. Yeah, I really do like how the game looks. It does look beautiful. And, I mean, I know the All-Star Sport actually would add backgrounds, which does make it look a lot better, but for the NES, though, like, for the standards of that, then, it really does look amazing. And more Panzers, and this is actually where I hate them the most, because, well, there's actually going to be one over this way. Yeah, these ones. Yeah, you're going to encounter some Panzers that are going to be moving towards you. Like, you know what? I gotta say, though, very much like the Hammer Brothers in Lost Levels, because, like, you know how much I've hated the Hammer Brothers. Like, they're always my most hated enemies, and these Panzers are not much different because that's what they essentially are. But the way they're coming towards you constantly, like, you go back and forth, they're very much like the Hammer Brothers in Lost Levels, and, you know, and that's, like, the most evil things Nintendo could ever do. Like, make the Hammer Brothers go towards you, and just, like, fling their hammers at you. I mean, you know, I've only played a little bit of Lost Levels, because, I mean, just to try it a bit, but that was only, like, recently, but I never really, bothered playing the game, though, because, well, I mean, if I knew it was that, I knew how much of a difficulty spike it was, I can't stand it when games are like that, then, you know, I just didn't want to buy it. I had no interest in it. But, like, I've already seen it in action. I've seen the playthroughs and gameplay videos of the game itself, and I would see Hammer Brothers coming towards them, and I'm like, holy shit, Nintendo, that's just cruel. Like, you know, Hammer Brothers being, like, one of the most hated enemies, and you just make them behave like that? Like, goddamn! And the game was already intense to begin with anyway, so, like, you know, with the level designs and all that, and all those obstacles, and you know, you just have to make everything more dickish. It's like, you know, that's one of the reasons why that nobody could ever really enjoy the game at all, like, whatsoever. And, I mean, you know, well, especially more so the NES version. Now, in the All-Stars version, they actually do so many things right to alleviate a lot of this. Just like, it's so challenging as shit, but they actually really do compensate for some things. Like, for one thing, if you get a game over in the level that you died in, as long as you actually save the game, then you'll actually go back to the very same level that you died in. So at least there's that. And also, one of the most bullshit things that Nintendo could ever do, which, you know, I'm not even saying this by opinion at this point, I'm saying this by fact, it's absolute bullshit, and it should not have been a thing. In the NES version, if you, or at least a Super Famicom version to be more accurate, because that's where it came out first, in that version, there's, like, special worlds. They go to, like, let's say, world A or B or A or B or something like that, and, you know, like, you just go through the first 8 worlds of the game. In order to unlock those worlds, you have to beat the initial game 8 times. 8 times through the same brutal levels. And who in the right mind ever thought this was a good idea? It really isn't. It's a stupid bullshit idea, and whoever thinks it was is fucking delusional. And so that's the reason why that, you know, in the All-Star Sport, they actually got rid of the issue where, you know, you only need to beat the game just once and then bam, you're already in those bonus levels. So yeah, at least they fixed that kind of issue. But yeah, in the original NES one, you had to beat it 8 times, and it's stupid. It's not fair, and, you know, it's and like I said, it's not an opinion at this point. I'm you know, if you think it was an opinion, well, you know, that's not right there. It's like not just an absolute difficulty spike either. It's fucking bullshit. So, what my advice to you guys is that if you ever do plan on playing Lost Levels, for the love of God, play the All-Stars port, because, you know, they do so many things that are better here, like, you know, with the save feature and, you know, to alleviate some issues. It'll still be challenging, like I said, but, you know, but at least the issues of the original version are gone, though, of, like, some of them. So yeah, if you ever plan, just play the All-Stars port. You know, you'll thank me later. Anyways, so yeah, that was kind of me just going off a tangent about like the bullshit of lost levels. But yeah, those panzers, you know, like I said, I've always hated them. There's some that'll come towards you, and you know, I have actually edited this video quite a few times actually because I kept dying to those very same panzers. I think while I was still a small Mario, and then and I kept dying to them a lot. So yeah, that really goes to show how much I absolutely hated those enemies. Well, you know, I guess that's what they essentially are, guys. You know, just like with Hammer Brothers, they're decks. And also, these are Porcupos. Yeah, look at that. They look like Sonic the Hedgehog, don't they? Yeah, something like back then during the console wars and all that. And well, I mean, you know, hedgehogs, porcupines. I mean, they kind of look a little similar though, but porcupines are a little more dangerous, though. Actually, not so much with hedgehogs though. But I mean, I never really handled an actual hedgehog before. I mean, I know there are some people I know that that have hedgehogs as pets. So oh, by the way, guys, so I also did, there's also one instance, like, I already edited this one out, but there's that one instance where, for some weird-ass and most baffling reason, that I defeat the Birdo that's right there, and then I accidentally go back, and then once I come back over there, suddenly the Birdo just respawns. So I mean, you don't see it this time because I already edited that clip out, but then I actually went back because I was hoping I would see it opening. But then they didn't, so they went back over there, and then the Birdo just suddenly respawned even after I defeated it. So yeah, it's one of those things where, you know, the NES was very weird with enemies respawning like all of a sudden. I mean, I don't know what it is. I mean, if it's some kind of a programming thing, or maybe the NES limitations or something like that. I don't know, because I know later consoles or later games just has like, you know, with the enemies staying dead and all that. So, yeah, it's kind of weird, right? Oh yeah, a couple new enemies right here. These guys are the Bob-Ombs. This is actually the first game where Bob-Ombs first appear in, and very weirdly enough, these Bob-Ombs actually have arms. Because, you know, it's not like in their later appearances where they're given no arms, just like, just legs and a wind on, or the wind-ups on their backs. But yeah, this game, they just have arms, and they look pretty beefy here. Probably just to show how intimidating it could be. But one thing you want to watch out for the Bob-Ombs is that if you pick those up, they can actually just start to explode a lot faster than regular bombs that you picked up. And the bird enemies that you saw over there that they throw down are called the albatrosses. Some of them can be some of them can be mere obstacles, but there are some in one later level that that can be a bit beneficial that we'll probably see later. And so now we're at World 3-3, and this is without one of my least favorite levels in this game, and the reason for that is because, well, two reasons actually. For one thing, the level is extremely long, like one of the, well, I don't want to say like one of the longest levels though, because I'm pretty sure the one of the later ones they get even longer, especially the final world. But you know, this level here is very long, and not only that though, but this is where the game really has this one issue. Like the one issue I really have with this game is the enemy placement. Because, you know, they will spam the ever-living hell out of one of the most obnoxious enemies that you'll see there, and the placement is just cheap too. Like you'll see in a minute here, like, oh yeah, these sparks here. So yeah, you're gonna watch out because, like, you know, just pick up the key here, and there's the Phanto that'll be coming after you. I'm just gonna keep on using that same strategy that I like to do, just like tossing the key, and then the Phanto will go away, and then just pick it back up, and they'll try chasing after me again. Also, as you can see here, you see how this game has this weird Pac-Man syndrome? Well, I would say not so much Pac-Man though. I would say more like in Mario Brothers, because it had that kind of aspect as well. Where, you know, you just go through the left side and then you just exit out from the right side. So yeah, it's kind of weird, but you know, it's kind of useful in a way. You can just take advantage of that game's aspect. So just gotta hurry and bring the key all the way back over. And yeah, I didn't mean that to happen, but you know, well, I still got plenty of lives, so I'm gonna want to refill my health at some point. Oh, yeah, no, don't want to get that ninja right there. There we go, that's better. Alright, so yeah, and this is the part where the level gets more obnoxious with those sparks. So yeah, it's, you know, like I said, it's the one major issue I have with the game is the enemy placement. Because, like, they always just, and yeah, I did that on purpose right there, because I needed to replenish my health. But yeah, it's, you know, even though this game is kind of weird for one thing, because it doesn't play like the other Mario Brothers games, because, you know, this game is based off of Doki Doki Panic. I mean, you know, I'm at least willing to defend the gameplay. Like, even if it does change, you know, at least it still does work fine as it is, and it's still a perfectly fine game. It's just the issue with it is that is the enemy placement. You know, they just place it there in the most cheap way possible, and you'll see that the one good example about it you'll see in that one room a little later that we'll get to, as a good example. So yeah, that's why, you know, with all these enemy placements here, then, you know, it's it kind of makes the game a little more, how we say it, iffy for me, I would say. But, you know, more than that once we actually get to the game. I mean, I gotta get to the end of the game. Where are you playing the game, you dunce? I think this next room is where we'll get to, is where you'll see what I mean about the weird enemy placements. I think just in that room right there, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, no, okay, yeah, I think it's the next room after that, so I was kind of mistaken there. I also want to mention one thing, though. I actually did mention the other ports, like, you know, for playing this game. There's actually 3 of them. Well, at least 3 versions. There's well, of course, the original NES version. Well, not kind of, you know, the original Doki Doki Panic. Well, if you ever want to give that one a shot. And then there's also you know, like I said, the All-Star port for the Super Nintendo, which is a recommended one. And then the last one is the Game Boy Advance port, which is Super Mario Advance. There's oh yeah, let me stop myself here. That room, that's the one. That's the one where it would give me the most shit. Like, a good example for a real cheap enemy placement on Nintendo's part. Yeah, like, you see all these sparks are everywhere, and you really have to make sure you time it just right for the to see where you can actually jump to avoid the sparks. Now, there's actually some ways to mitigate the issue. Like, there's that power block that you saw right there that I just had to use. And, of course, they decided to just place these cherries all over. So if you ever want to get the Starman to appear, then, you know, there's the, just to make sure you pick up the cherries. But, yeah, that right there is a good example of how this game has this real cheap enemy placement issue that I've had such a problem with in this game. So, yeah, there you have it. That room is definitely an example. And I'm pretty sure it's going to get even worse from there later on. I mean, like I said, I mean, it's not as frustrating or unfair as Lost Levels. I mean, you know, nowhere near that, because, I mean, that's pretty much the reason why this game existed, because, you know, because they had to have a Mario 2, just take an already existing game anyway. But, you know, this game still can get pretty brutal with its enemy placement. That's, you know, like I said, the one major gripe I have with this game here, so, and yeah, I'm actually reaching to the boss anyway, so I'll talk more about the ports a little later, because now we have a repeat boss here. This is Mauser round 2. Yeah, we're fighting Mauser once again, somehow. And, of course, unlike his other counterpart, like where he has pink ears, he has green ears, and, well, and green feet and hands, too. So, I mean, I guess to kind of differentiate, or if it's, like, maybe a different Mauser or something like that. Because I know that, there's, like, regular Mario enemies a little later called Mausers, which they're actually a lot smaller and more round. They're not like as anthropomorphic as this Mauser. But yeah, that's basically what it is. So yeah, this fight against the Mauser is you know, just, you know, same as he did before. He tosses bombs, and then you just gotta throw the bombs back at him. Unlike the original Mauser, though, this guy actually takes more hits. So instead of 3 times, we actually had to hit him 5 times. And so that's how it gets a little more challenging. But other than that, though, I mean, you know, if you know what you're doing, then it shouldn't be too hard. Actually, one thing I gotta say about, like, well, I mean, maybe I should go ahead and talk a bit more about the Game Boy Advance port. So yeah, Super Mario Advance, you know, there are actually some tweaks and all that there, where there's, like, bigger vegetables you can pick up there. And, you know, with maybe a little bit of level change as well, and of course a screen crunch as well, because, you know, it's a GBA game. But there's, like, some different changes. Like, one thing, instead of fighting Mauser a second time, you actually fight a robotic version of Birdo. So there's that right there. I'll talk more about the Game Boy Advance port a little later, or well at least in the next episode, because we're already at the end of the video. So, anyways, next time, let's play Super Mario Bros. 2. We are going to head over to World 4, and World 4, I don't even like it because of one thing and one thing only, and you'll see for the most obvious part. So, Anyways, until next time, I will see you guys later.